This time in the 3-minute review series, we're going to look at a set of pedals that you've maybe not heard of or considered before, and those are the Marin Oso flat pedals. So mountain bike pedals are a very competitive space right now, especially when you're looking at more budget-oriented flat pedals, composite pedals. It used to be that there was the Raceface Chester and then some cheap Amazon knockoffs, and that was kind of it. But more recently, there's brands like PNW and OneUp and also Trail One components that are offering really good flat pedals at a reasonable price. So it's a little bit interesting to see a bike brand jumping into that. So I do want to mention that Marin gave me these pedals for free when they sent me the Pine Mountain to review. I didn't get to keep the bike, obviously, but they did say I could just hang on to these pedals. And I did like them enough that I put them onto my Rift Zone. And I will say that's a pretty big statement because the pedals that were on this Rift Zone were the pedals that I had since I began mountain biking. And I thought, you know what? These things felt great. They gripped my shoes really well. So I threw them on this bike and I haven't looked back. We'll get into some technical details and you'll have to excuse my notes, but it's way too many numbers for me to memorize for this. So we'll start with just the size of the pedal. They are 110 by 120 millimeters, and that does make them a little bit bigger than some alternative pedals like OneUp. Their flat pedal is 105 by 115, and then PNW a little bit bigger than the OneUp at 108 by 115, but still not as big as these. And for me, I've got relatively large feet. I like a little bit bigger of a pedal. Now, when it comes to weight, these are a little bit heavier, at least compared to those OneUp and the PNW pedals. I think that's due to the size, but we're looking at 403.5 grams on these. The OneUps are 355 and the PNWs are 390. And then in terms of pricing, we're just looking at MSRP, not worrying about sales or anything like that. $55 for these, and then right around $50 for the PNW and the OneUps. So outside of that technical stuff, I'll just say that I really like the overall feel of these. They have a slight concave design to them, and that's something that I've ridden. I don't know if they were OneUps or PNWs, but it was one of them. The center composite part of the pedal, where the middle of your ball of your foot hits, seemed way too high to me, and my center of my foot was kind of sliding around. This is a much better design in my opinion. It allows all of the little pins to grab into your shoes just better overall. And speaking of the pins, there are 9 pins on each side. They're basically a bolt that goes through and a recessed little nut inside the composite. Now, to me, that is one slight downside of going with composite pedals over aluminum, although aluminum pedals are generally much more expensive because those screws or those bolts, the pins, they just tend to get bent a little easier than aluminum pedals that run grub screws through them. But at the same time, they're a lot easier to get out. Those grub screws are such a pain to deal with. But I've definitely whacked these into some rocks. The pins have gotten bent. I've bent some of them back with some pliers. But once they get too mangled, you just replace them and you're good to go. So as far as pedals go, you know, the feel is the big thing, weight a little bit, and then just durability. I mean, I guess I haven't had these long enough to really put them through a durability test. They've probably got, I don't know, 400 or 500 miles on them, and they still spin really freely. They don't have any play in them. So overall, I'm very happy with them. Like I said, I did get these for free, but if I was pedal shopping and on the market and looking at some of the things that I've mentioned in this video, my choice and my money would go towards these. Well, I don't think there's much else to say about pedals than that. I hope you got something useful out of this video. Let me know what pedals you're running. Let me know if some of my thoughts make sense to you or not in the comments. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and I'll see you next time.